bunch of projects that we have worked on as a design team, and I would like to talk about a few now. The first one is the design system project. This is one of those projects every designer wants to work on. Design system project was done in the first half of 2023. Essentially solves for visual consistency across the product. And after this project, now we are able to speed up the visual design part of the process. Our components and visual elements are standardized now, which is the whole point of a design system. These include typography styles, button styles, use of color, and so on. Post this release, we have also got user feedback stating the visual upgrade of the application, which is a perceived kind of value for the user. And for the business, this helps in two ways. The engineering team is now able to develop the front end faster because of the component approach. And on the user side, it creates this neat, modern, professional look, helps in consistently maintaining the brand image of a productivity tool. So the design system project is the first one that has created a business impact in the last 1 year. Another one that I can talk about is the Spectra competitor analysis project. This was an important project done in November or December 2023. There had been multiple instances of feedback coming through our internal customer success teams about user expectations. So these have been primarily from those users who had tried out other products as well. So it was important for us to do an analysis, and it has brought a lot of clarity about the UX flows of various features. We have a detailed analysis of all the features and competitive product UX flows now. For the business, this helps in two ways. First, whenever we are developing a new feature, we have a good UX reference point that helps in designing. And the second is now we are able to anticipate user expectations better. This helps in prioritizing better and creating a clear roadmap for product development. Essentially helps in competing in the market. Another project that I can talk about in the last 1 year was the website redesign project. This was done in the first half of 2023. This project was pivotal in building a better discovery platform for our products at a global level. So website redesign involved building an information architecture that's scalable for future needs of the website beyond the current content that we have on our website, as well as consistently extending the brand image visually on all pages of the website. So for the business, the website redesign project has led to multiple times increase in the inbound leads, better conversion on the ads, and also reduce the bounce rate on a bunch of pages by more than 50%. And one more important project that I would like to talk about is the OPD product, which we call as ambient product. This project is an ongoing one, and we have innovated multiple approaches in creating an OPD note during an OPD consultation. So since a year, we have been testing and iterating, and design for such a product involved deeply understanding how OPD consultations are conducted, what's the nature of the document created, and how can speech and AI technology intervene to make this documentation more convenient and intelligent. So the latest solution that we have is able to record a conversation between a doctor and a patient and extract essential information from it to create a structured OPD note. So design of this application involved making this conversation recording really easy to use and then further extract the OPD note from it for the doctor. For the business, this project allows us to dive into a new territory altogether. The documentation space is a large market globally, and this product is now able to, help us dive into that larger market. We try and operate the design team like a think tank. In simple terms, a holistic, collaborative approach towards the problems that we are solving. Creativity and innovation, in my opinion, stems from having some kind of an open field, an unrestricted space to allow for solutions to emerge in many possible directions. So there are always constraints induced by many variables, timeline, resources, budget, and so on. Open field allows for thinking of an ideal solution, assuming some kind of an abundance of resources, but for a temporary basis. But this step is crucial in fostering creative thinking, and that's what we try to inculcate in the design team. We encourage many solutions to be proposed. We discuss it collaboratively and refine the solution and finalize the solution. An outcome of such an approach I can talk about, because of this open field sort of an approach, we have developed creative solutions for problems that were not officially on the roadmap for Augnito product development. So some of the examples are like smart input API for chief complaints. This is for one of the customers in the Middle East. Transfer note feature. This was another one that came up after a study that we had done. A compact variant of the widget redesign, and a beta testing program. So these are some examples that solutions that emerged from the design team. Design members essentially landed on these solutions, and they were not officially on the roadmap. And now I think as and when the roadmap sort of affords any of these things to be picked up, we will put it into development. I think internet is a rich resource when it comes to staying updated. I'm regularly reading articles on the internet and articles on varying topics, right? But a few websites that I sort of keep going back to are UX Matters is one of them. UX Collective is another one. NN Group, this has been a long-term reliable resource for me. And then there is a lot of these fragmented AI news articles that we find. Figma Lion is another one. Figma is a software that we use for designing, and so all things Figma features, tips and tricks is found on Figma Lion. Last 6 to 8 months, I found a new way to be updated is try out these new AI tools that have been coming up for design, and that's an interesting space to follow. ChatGPT is the one we have been playing around with it, just to understand what's happening in this AI space. So yeah, that's about it. Varying internet is the prime, answer, I would say. I think user feedback is like the core of product development process as a whole. And what we essentially practice is a user-centric design process, which means keeping the user at the center of our problem solving. So we conduct user research periodically, and it has been one of those practices that we adhere to very strongly. And user research is done to inform us about varying things, right? So we categorize research in two different buckets. One of the bucket is a generative research, and the other one is evaluative research. So generative research involves understanding the user deeply, their environments, motivations, attitudes, and nature of their work. Evaluative is more about how well our product helps the user to do their job, essentially. So these are the two broad buckets, and some example research projects that we have done in the recent last 1 year, I would say. There is a generative study that we did to understand product usage. This is an ongoing research project right now, where we are attempting to study doctors in hospital environments at 3 different places: Bangalore, Delhi, and Jaipur. And we interview them and in their own environments to understand their experience with Augnito as their daily driver for documentation. We understand their challenges, we understand barriers to usage, and this helps us understand and identify improvement areas in our product, as well as the customer service side of things. So it's a generative study. Another study that I can talk about, this was done last year around July, where we visited hospitals in different locations like Bangalore, Chennai, Kolkata, and the study involved interviewing different doctors to identify various documentation use cases inside a hospital. So radiology, histopathology, IPD, OPD, and so on, these are the different places in which documentation happens inside a hospital. And again, a generative study which gave us a good breadth of what are the potential spaces for expanding the product and the usage of product inside a hospital. Now I'll talk about one evaluative study. The evaluative study was done for the OPD product, that the project that I talked about just some time back. This was an evaluative study to understand longitudinal experience of using a new product and how do users perceive its benefits and what are the barriers to usage, right? So this was a 3 to 4 week study to evaluate one of the OPD prototypes that we had at a hospital, and this evaluation helped in discovering what works well in that product and what doesn't work, and then based on that feedback we were able to iterate on the OPD product. So this was an evaluative study that was done, and so as you see, as in like the user feedback and these kind of testing practices formed like the core of how we develop the product and be more informed about what the user is essentially wanting to do with our product and have we built the right product in the first place. I think the latest advancement in AI, which is in the LLM space and AI in healthcare tech, essentially that is the theme for 2024, and that being the larger theme in across the world globally. For Augnito, that would mean the OPD documentation space and what kind of a product that we can build, the ambient technology for OPD documentation space. That is the theme essentially where we are concentrating our efforts and energies on. Other space, which is of course the product that Augnito has been building for a couple of years now, the Spectra. So improvements in Spectra is another theme for this year, which will focus on two things primarily. How do we offer more convenience to Spectra users, and how do we offer more productivity to Spectra users? These are the broad two themes, I think, ambient and Spectra.